the season to be jolly, but 'tis also the season for increased stress, financial pressures, broken boundaries, and just heightened expectations all around. According to the American Psychological Association, 38% of the people surveyed said they had increased stress during the holiday season. That is not jolly at all, and I don't want you to feel like that. If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Abby. I'm an Enneagram coach, and I'm here to help you discover you. I put out new videos every Thursday, so subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's learn how to support ourselves and our loved ones based on our Enneagram type. Let's look at the Peacemaker, Enneagram 9. In times of stress, 9s move down their stress path to the average to unhealthy traits of an Enneagram type 6. What this looks like is 9s become super anxious. Their mind is just flooded with worst case scenario thinking. What if Santa doesn't come? What if the presents don't arrive in time? What if my mother-in-law gets super mad at me? What if I overcook dinner? What if, all of these things that take away from being present, being in the moment, which is what 9s love most of all. They want to feel that inner peace. They want to know that what they're doing in the moment is like happening. They don't want to feel like they're thinking like 2 weeks ahead or 3 or 4 hours ahead. They want to be present and at peace with the people that they love. You can support type 9s this season by letting them know that their voice matters. A 9's core longing is to know that their presence, what they have to say, what they think, all of that matters to other people. So I reached out on my Instagram and asked, hey, what do y'all need during this time? Like, how can we support you? What's your type? How can we support you? And these were some of the answers from Enneagram type 9s. Prioritize your mental health. I can feel your stress and/or invite me to bake with you. So I loved this one. I thought it was really interesting. 9s are super empathetic, right? They feel the emotions and the things going on around them. So this 9 says the best thing you can do is to prioritize your own stuff. Don't put it on me. Otherwise, I'm gonna soak it up. I'm gonna have to merge with other people. Like, I just want to focus on me, what's going on with me, and finding my inner peace. So not having to take on other people's stress. This one says, allow me to have time to be alone and to regroup. You need that time alone to discover your inner peace again, to revitalize your soul. Chelsea says, don't overpressure me to do all the things and allow for cozy downtime. Lots of it. Phoebe says, save my inbox and don't reply all. So try to limit the amount of emails that you're sending to your type 9 coworkers because December, let's be frank, unless you're in marketing, in which case you're probably working really hard right now, everything slows down in December. And then this one, which I think is really poignant for letting 9s know that their voice matters. This 9 says, listen and validate. Help me to feel heard and that I matter. You can do that by reiterating what they say. If they say something to you, repeat it back to them. I heard you say this. Doing those techniques that you learn in therapy or in that one HR meeting where you let people know that you hear them. You want to repeat back to them, hey, I heard you say this, like I am listening to you. Now let's talk about Enneagram 8s, the challenger. In stress, 8s go to the unhealthy traits, that rhymes, of an Enneagram type 5. This could look like withdrawing, so like just not wanting to be involved in the things that they normally are, detaching, kind of feeling like they have to do everything themselves, they can't rely on other people, then feeling like kind of distrustful and like angry at other people because no one's helping them, but also they don't want help because they're just detaching. So all of that can happen to Enneagram 8s when they are in times of stress. In order to support an Enneagram 8 in this time, it's important to know that their biggest fear is being betrayed, is being controlled and manipulated by the people in their life. They want to feel like they can trust themselves and others, that they can be vulnerable. So when I asked on my Instagram for tips from type 8s for helping support you during this season, a lot of the answers revolved around not forcing them to do anything, not manipulating. Basically, like the general theme is like, don't make me do things, like give me agency. I don't want to feel like all of the pressure is on me, basically. Some examples of this is, don't need me. Why does it feel like everyone needs me right now? Let me be alone for a second. Maybe 8s during this time are feeling like they are giving so much more than they're receiving, so they feel depleted. So what can you do to flip the tables? How can you pour into them while they are pouring into everybody else. Chris says, just work with me and put effort into planning and it will all go smoothly. So not pushing against them, not trying to force them to do something, but working with them, being copacetic with them as you go along your plans for the holiday season. This 8 says, just be patient. The end of the year is usually the most stressful and upsetting. Yes, it is. I hate this time of year. I like half love it, half hate it. Anyway, all right, sorry. This video is not about me. This one says, let me talk, don't try to fix me or solve my problems. I love this because I feel like a lot of us, myself included, are very much like action oriented. So when someone starts to say their problem, I'm like, okay, how do I fix this? Let's do this. How about this? How about this? This 8 is saying, I don't want to hear all of these, I don't want to hear all of these solutions. I just want you to listen to me. I want you to sit, hear my problem. Don't try to fix me. Don't try to fix the problem. Just hear me. And then this 8 says, don't force me to go to events via manipulation. Basically, I'm getting the vibe that 8s want their independence and agency during a season where it can be really tough to have agency and independence because everyone needs things, you know, the expectations are so heightened. So as much as you can give agency and independence to your 8, the better. Time for Enneagram 7s, the optimist. When they're stressed, 7s go to the average to unhealthy traits of Enneagram type 1s. What this looks like is becoming super critical of yourself. Like that inner critic is on hyperblast. Is that a word? Yeah, we're gonna say your inner critic is on hyperblast. In the holiday season, you may find yourself building up a lot of walls and rules, finding yourself to be a little bit like frigid and like inflexible, like you don't wanna bend on anything because you feel like something catastrophic will happen. You might also be leaning into your perfectionistic tendencies, so you don't wanna even get it done if it's not gonna be perfect, like why even bother? During this time, you could also find yourself getting upset when things aren't meeting your expectations. The holidays, like the movies portray them as like, oh, it's a fun time, all these things happen, it's magical, you know, and you might have all of these amazing things that you've been wanting to do, whatever activities that are your traditions that you love doing, and you find that getting thwarted by financial pressures and familial expectations and all of these frustrating things. And so in turn, you get angry with everyone else. You're like, hello, like, why can't we all have fun right now? In order to support the type 7s in your life, plan fun things. Encourage the time to have like childlike joy and enthusiasm for the little things. Maybe that's getting a cup of hot chocolate and walking around and looking at the lights in your neighborhood. Maybe that's having a really fun movie night. Just little things that will bring added joy to the season in a season that is usually pretty stressful. My ultimate hope for 7s during this season is for you guys to feel like you have everything that you need right now to feel happy, like you already have it. It's not like this next thing. It's like, no, you can be fully happy and present right now with what you have. Some more supportive advice from 7s on my Instagram are, don't ask me to do anything, I'm doing enough. Get excited with me about the little things, twinkling lights. It doesn't have to be all big things. I love that one. Plan something fun to do together, so that just backs it up. You know, plan joyful things. What are small, fun things that you can do to add joy to this season? This 7 says, take me one-on-one somewhere calming. If I go with someone else, I won't feel FOMO or fear of missing out. And this 7 says, enjoy the fun that I've planned. And also, and this is the key, this is tapping right into the Enneagram 7's heart, show me all I already have to be thankful for right here. I have everything I need to be happy in the moment. Now let's talk about Enneagram type 6, the guardian. When you're stressed, you adopt the traits of an average to unhealthy type 3. As an Enneagram 3 myself, I have a lot I can tell you about the unhealthy traits of us 3s. One of the things might be obsessing about how you look to other people. That could look like physical, like obsessing over diet or feeling really bad about how you look or how you feel physically. It could also be just kind of how you're perceived and how your life is, like going home and seeing all these family members or friends and feeling like your life isn't what it should be or what you imagined it would be at this point. This could also look like keeping busy to avoid feeling any feelings, because there probably are a lot of feelings bubbling up. So you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on busy work. I'm gonna do things that aren't necessarily like substance, but they're gonna make me feel like I'm doing something, working towards something productive, whereas your soul, your brain is kind of suffering because you're not addressing the actual root problem. You can help support the type 6s in your life by being really intentional. This could look like texting a 6 and saying, hey, I wanna take you out to coffee during this stressful time. I miss you. Like, how about we schedule out 45 minutes? This could look like asking them for something to take off their plate. Hey, what are you most stressed out about right now? I have some extra time. I'd love to help you out. It could also look like just showing up on time, respecting their boundaries. Enneagram 6s have contributed to the conversation. So this person said, ask me to coffee. I need you to want to spend time with me as much as I want to be with you. Kelsey says, offer to take something off my plate and help me Christmas shop and make it fun with coffee and lunch. So definitely like spending time seems to be something that's really important to 6s. This 6 says lots of setting intentions and gratitude with soup and mulled wine to follow. Well, let's just say soup and mulled wine should be a part of all of this because it sounds awesome and delicious. This 6 says, don't be late. I'm trying to be there for everyone, and if you're late, I'm late to someone else. And this 6 says, encourage my boundaries with my family, but, and I love this, remind me that they are not my enemy. Okay, type 5, the investigator. When they're stressed, they move to the average to unhealthy traits of Enneagram type 7. This could look like having a hyperactive mind, feeling unfocused, starting a lot of projects but not finishing them. You could become even more cynical than you usually are in your daily life. You become impulsive. You're taking on just like way too much and you feel so overwhelmed and so alone. When I asked on my Instagram for tips for supporting type 5s during this stressful season, I actually got so many answers. So I wanted to start out, before I give you what my personal thoughts are on how to support 5s, I want you to hear directly from 5s because they had a lot to say. This 5 says, please let me disassociate with a good book. Don't make me open a present in front of anyone. And I've heard that multiple times from 5s, like over the years. I think I even talked about that in my type 5 gift guide video a few years ago. They don't like that on the spot kind of feeling. Danielle says, give me space before and after a social gathering so I can show up for you and take care of me. I love that. What a great view. You're not being selfish, you are taking time for yourself so you can show up for yourself and for others. This 5 says, please remember that all the added holiday obligations are very trying for me. Leave me the F alone if I don't initiate interaction. Deep rest / phones off between holiday socializing. That's a great practical tip, I think, for all of us. Plenty of recharge time. Tell me it's okay to take me time, and tell me exactly what you want for Christmas, even if it's just a gift card. Let's take out the guessing, the vagueness, like let's just be direct and say it how it is. Pretty much the vibe I'm getting from 5s is they need space, and they need a lot of grace for how much space they need. They don't want to have to feel guilty for taking the time to recharge. They're doing what they need to do to show up for themselves and for others. So let's acknowledge that 5s, like this is an incredibly draining time for Enneagram type 5s. So love on them, and you can love on them by giving them space and like being chill with how much of themselves they give to you this holiday season. Now it's time for the romantics of the Enneagram, Enneagram 4s. In stress, they move to the average to unhealthy traits of Enneagram type 2. This might look like a 4 feeling so overworked, so overwhelmed that they start to punish people by removing their services or even doing things for other people, but with the expectation that they're gonna get something in return. And then when they don't get something in return, they're not gonna be very happy. They're gonna feel very passive aggressive and resentful. This could also look like feeling frantic about the status of their relationships. And I'm not just talking about like their romantic relationship, you know, are we getting engaged, or are we just talking, or are we actually in a relationship? I'm talking about all relationships. What's the status of our friendship? How are me and my neighbor doing? Like it's all of this like hyper awareness of how every single relationship is going and feeling really stressed about it. You can help support 4s by understanding that they're probably feeling a little sad or a lot of sad. Melancholy, they feel misunderstood. Ask them what they need, ask them how they can help. Show up for them, don't ghost them. Like if you have the space in your own life to reach out to the type 4s, I think that would be really helpful. Some 4s on Instagram said, please be genuine. A lot of us feel nostalgic around this time, so don't make us feel bad for being gloomy. This 4-wing 5 says, don't push my boundaries. If I'm done, I'm done. If I need a mental break, leave me alone. And this 4 says, give me some time to do creative stuff. Too much stress has me depleted. I love that advice for type 4s. Taking time, and this is something 4s can do for themselves, taking time to invest in the things that you loved when you were a child. Meaning, go to those artistic things that give you life. What is something creative that you can do? Is it painting? Is it something like very stereotypically artistic? Or is it something else? Do you need to go roller skating? Do you need to tell stories to your friends? What is it that you need to do to feel creative? Let's talk about Enneagram type 3, the achiever. In stress, us 3s go to the average to unhealthy traits of Enneagram type 9. What does this look like? It looks like completely shutting down. Numbing out with food, TV, video games, like whatever, just being busy but not actually doing anything. It looks like losing interest in the things that usually bring you purpose and joy. It looks like resisting help or trying to pretend like all is well, but all is really not well. Ways that you can support 3s during this time is praise, encouragement, and letting them know that they have worth and that you appreciate how they are contributing to this season. Something my type 4 husband did to support me just even today, we're in the thick of the holiday season. I had made us lunch and he was like, hey, like you've been working a lot today. You've done this, and this for us and for Lemon, our dog. Can I take your car to go to get it to the car wash? And that to me felt like I was being acknowledged for what I had done that day. And also I felt loved in terms of there was an act of service happening for me and for my disgusting car. Other 3s said, notice the details I put into the process, celebrate my showmanship, and help me rest. That's a good one. This 3 says, do things that you notice instead of pointing it out. So instead of like, oh man, like these ornaments fell off, just put them back on, This 3 says, be patient with my schedule. I want to see you too. How's Tuesday at 3 p.m. for 45 minutes, being super intentional with that schedule. This 3 says, spend time with me and help me relax. Just allow me to soak up rest time to the fullest with no pressure or guilt. Give copious praise and applause every time I say I'm already done shopping. I love that. If they're already done shopping, you let them know that that is awesome. Good job, you. Wow, how productive you are. And I would like to take this time to say that I'm done shopping, so good job, me. Enneagram type 2s, the helper. In stress, they go to the average to unhealthy traits of Enneagram type 8. What this looks like is you can become super confrontational. You feel anger as like a gut response more often than not. You can get really irritable if you feel like you're being ignored or your voice isn't being heard. You can start to manipulate the people around you, like guilt tripping someone if they're not gonna come to an event with you. Whatever that looks like, however you may manipulate people in your life, that is gonna go into overdrive when you're stressed out. You could also start blaming people for what's going wrong. Say there's just like a horrible week and all this stuff happens. You just get really angry at all the people around you. Like, how could this happen? So, help support the 2s in your life by helping. Revolutionary. Help them. Check in. Get them a self-care date. Let's hear from actual 2s actually what they say, because you guys always say it better than I do. Because you know yourselves better than I do. All right, this 2 says, just tell me you appreciate me. Insist on helping. Stop me from doing it all for everyone. This type 2 mama says, ask to help me cook or bake. This 2 says self-care dates and gives some specific examples. We love this. Meeting up at yoga, yes. Hiking, cooking together are so this beautiful emoji. And then this 2 says, check in on me if you can. So yeah, overall, checking in, helping, that is going to support the type 2s in your life this season. And last but never least, Enneagram type 1, the reformer. In stress, 1s move to the average to unhealthy traits of Enneagram type 4s. What this could look like is just falling deep into melancholy, feeling misunderstood, feeling like no one gets you. You might also get bit by the escapism bug. You get this like need of like, hey, what if I just like ran away, moved to Georgia and like lived by a lake and just didn't have any other obligations in my life, that just leave all the people, leave my work, and I could just run away and get away from everything. That kind of thinking can happen to type 1s in times of stress, and especially for type 1s during the holiday season. Okay, so what do we do about this? Well, to support type 1s, I recommend letting them know that they're doing a good job. Hey, this dinner was awesome. Thank you so much. This was so good. A type 1's core desire is to know deep down that they are good, that they are contributing to the world in a positive way. So if you enforce that in their own life, that's gonna be really helpful. The ones on my Instagram said, prioritize getting into the holiday spirit with me. So music, baking, decor, and quality home time. Ask me how you can help, listen to the specifics, and follow through. Emphasis on the follow through. Taylor says, take a time-consuming commitment off my plate so I can knock stuff off my to-do list. I hear this a lot from type 1s, not just in the holiday season, but all year round, because 1s they're very high achieving people, which means they can put a lot on their plate. So if there's ever a time you can take something off their plate, you're golden. This one says, take charge of things I normally do without being asked, because you don't want to be the person who has to delegate everything to, because that is also a job. This one I loved, Enneagram 1 junior high teacher, just a note from a parent or student saying I did something, anything right. If you have kids and they've got teachers, write them notes, say, hey, you did this right. This was so good. Thank you so much. You might not know their Enneagram types, but I'm sure teachers out there will appreciate that. Also, send them some money because their salaries suck. And then lastly, this type 1 says, be patient. I feel all the demands and I'm trying to create a good Christmas. They feel this obligation to be the person who makes Christmas Christmas or Hanukkah Hanukkah. They feel this obligation, right, to make the holidays special. So acknowledging type 1s and saying, hey, I see you, you're doing a great job, like what you're doing is working. That is so incredibly helpful for 1s. Burnout is a huge thing that happens this time of year, so I'm gonna put my free guide for preventing burnout, knowing if you are even burnt out for each Enneagram type in the description down below. I will also link my video about burnout right here. Hopefully that's helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.